2B2T, short for 2 Builders, 2 Tools, or as most people know it, the oldest Anarchy server in Minecraft. The server is notorious for its toxic player base and pure freedom in its ways of anarchy. But what if I told you that on 2B2T, a server with no rules, that a group of people actually attempted to start a democracy, where they actually have a constitution, allow you to freely vote for a leader in open elections, and allow anyone to join the group? I'll be covering everything from the group's foundation to its tragic fall. We've got a lot to talk about, so sit back and get comfy for some video game politics. To understand how a democracy like this was formed, we have to go back to its forefather, a player known as Gambino. Gambino joined 2B2T on February 2018. He was constantly killed by player QUJ at spawn. After escaping, he built his first base 50,000 blocks away from spawn, and then died from running out of watermelons. Yep, that somehow happened. But 2 months later, he joined back, and he built his new base 60,000 blocks out, and slowly started to invite new players from spawn to the base. He also was a member of the Vortex Coalition and traded items daily, but was always looked down upon because of his help towards new players. You see, on 2B2T, almost all players believe in survival of the fittest, with all the spawn killers, withers at spawn, and new players getting no free handouts. It guarantees that the server remains healthy with a strong player base, but Gambino was actively helping the new players by inviting them to his base. It was around this time that Gambino started his own group, the Democratic Republic of 2B2T. It was conceived in late August 2018 by Gambino and Mega Alpha Vulcan, allegedly as a response to the distaste towards autocratic, drama-filled groups. Gambino devised a group with an oligarchical structure and began inviting players from throughout the server to form a voter base. Many players joined, and the group quickly expanded. A constitution was hastily written, but it did not address either voting procedure or the delineation of powers. These would all be ruled on by Gambino as issues arose, causing many problems as the group continued. After the Republic's quick foundation, Gambino started holding elections for the council, which would be the main governing body of the group, leading to Gambino, Jonathan 222, his former enemy, QUJ, Verl, and Women Are Objects, holding seats in the council. But Verl subsequently resigned, leading to the Dark Emperor, the leader of Imperium, receiving his seat, as the Dark Emperor had received the next most votes in that election. Now that the council elections were over, Gambino needed a leader for the group, so he set up the presidential elections. The eligible electorate consisted of anyone who joined the Democratic Republic of 2B2T Discord server. Player Joey Coconut realized this would be easily abused and pitched an idea to the leadership of the Astral Order. The idea was to have the Astral Order members stuff the ballot box and put Joey Coconut, who was the then mid-ranking member of the Astral Order, in charge of the Democratic Republic of 2B2T, and shape it into a pro-Astral group. Lord Galvatron MC and Jay Monroe quickly backed the operation, seeing a chance at extending the Astral Order's hand of influence. On the 1st of September 2018, Joey Coconut overwhelmingly won the presidential election with Astral Order support. He found the council to be a mess, as responsibilities and specified powers were not delineated at all with the constitution of the group. Gambino made arbitrary decisions without consulting others in the leadership, and kept ownership of the Discord server. Despite harsh criticisms from both actions, a vote to transfer server ownership to the president failed, despite many in leadership becoming increasingly annoyed with Gambino's actions. Plans for the foundation of bases were made and then not followed through upon. Meanwhile, Gambino used the Discord server to advertise for his shop. Gambino created a new constitution following harsh criticisms of the old one, and also an attempt to stop Joey Coconut's vote rigging. The Constitution was just as heavily criticized and did not stop the election rigging. Gambino instituted a third rank in the group, below the council, called Parliament. While meant to function as the lower house of the bicameral legislature, its functions were barely defined. The Astral Order Takeover continued, with most of the Parliament members all being members of the Astral Order. Gambino was starting to see his own group become more and more divided. To try to combat this, he secretly had an alliance with the Unidad, without consulting other members of the Democratic Republic of 2B2T leadership. But since he was no longer president of the group, he could not guarantee anything, and could not share the alliance with other leaders in fear of being removed. But that was exactly what happened. On September the 11th, word got out that Gambino was telling other factions that he was still the president of the Democratic Republic of 2B2T. Upon hearing these rumors, that was the final straw. A vote was casted for Gambino's removal, which passed through the council. Following this, ownership of the server was passed to Jonathan 222, as Gambino worried that the president, Joey Coconut, would grief the Discord server. But just 3 days later, the whole entire group would destroy itself. On the 14th of September, Dig and Builder exposed the Astral Order Takeover plot, causing minimal fallout beyond the Astral server itself. All counselors, besides WAO, all either left or were removed. They were replaced by Stadhouder, Zelos Gaming, Lord Galvatron MC, and iMems. Jonathan 222 left the server and passed ownership to WAO. On the 14th of September, WAO griefed the server and doxed Gambino. Meager attempts at gaining ownership of the server and fixing it were made on the part of Joey Coconut, although these attempts went nowhere, with the project largely ignored and, as a result of the French invasion taking place at the time, or as others know it, the 7th Incursion, WAO deleted the server on the 20th of October 2018, ending the Democratic Republic of 2B2T. So after all that, what can we learn from this? Well, we know that if you want to run a democracy on an anarchy server, you need to make sure that all members are loyal to the cause. Also, that open elections for all is pretty much impossible, due to ballot box stuffing by other 2B2T factions. And finally, you need to have a strong foundation. Like I said before, Gambino's faction didn't have a well-written constitution. So in short, was this an efficient way to rule on an anarchy server? In my opinion, no, it's not. The whole reason for an anarchy server is to have full freedom and to do what you want. A democracy just takes that away. Besides, why would I want to follow the government's rules on a block game? Anyways, this faction was stupid, but funny as hell to see what would happen. And well, there's your answer. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. It's completely free and you can unsubscribe at any time. If you can't subscribe, then hey, that's no big deal. You watching the video all the way to the end tells YouTube that I am doing something that's working. Anyways, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one.